And we're learning more about the deadly attack on a correctional officer at the Morgan County Correctional Complex. Officer Dustin Pettigo was killed in February while making solo rounds at the prison. While the State Department of Corrections investigation continues, State Representative Monty Fritts says correctional staff raised concerns well before the deadly attack. 10 News reporter Alana Mutnick has the details.
Representative Fritts says he's been in contact with the correctional officer's widow as well as other officers at the prison. He says many of the employees in the facility are questioning whether this stabbing attack could have been prevented and if they are being listened to. Representative Fritts said no one looked into the repeated reports by correctional officers on cell lock issues. Same goes for threats made by the inmate who killed Dustin Pettigo, who was moved to a less restrictive unit in the facility. Fritts says several correctional employees feel their concerns have gone unheard, and it's part of a much larger issue within the system.
Nothing we can do can assuage the pain of the family that's lost Correctional Officer Pettigo. But what we can do is to make sure that we have fully investigated this and do our very best to ensure this never happens again at any of our penitentiaries.
Representative Fritts spoke with Officer Pettigo's widow, who says he was working alone when he was stabbed because an insufficient number of officers were working that night. He says he was told officers are supposed to work in pairs, and the ongoing staffing shortages within the Department of Corrections contributed to the death of Dustin Pettigo. Representative Fritts sent a letter to Governor Bill Lee urging a deeper review of what led to the attack, requesting he personally looks into the matter. He received a response from the commissioner that assured him they were looking into it. Also, the Tennessee Department of Correction is leading the investigation, and a spokesperson said the office is awaiting completion of the investigation before presenting the case to a grand jury this spring. Andrew.
And state authorities will conduct an independent investigation into the stabbing of Dustin Pettigo at the prison in Morgan County. In a recent episode of our political and public affairs show Inside Tennessee, State Senator Ken Yeager said he was calling for an independent investigation on top of the state's internal investigation.
But he was a correctional officer that was put into a terrible situation. As incredible as it may seem, the inmates could jimmy the locks to their doors, these so-called automatic locks, with a piece of paper, and were apparently in and out of their cells during the night. This young man was in his, I say cell block, that may not be he was in his pod, checking the doors by himself. I've seen the video, as awful as it was. It was as if that inmate were waiting for him. He steps up to the door, the guy throws the door open, knocks the guard back, and then he stabs that correctional officer 8 times in the neck, killing him. That should have never happened. It was foreseeable, and I intend to stay with us until we get that problem fixed.
I commend you.
And you can watch that full conversation with Senator Yeager and Representative Sam McKenzie right now on WBIR+. Download on your TV and watch for free.